8:52 on the Big 550 KTRS. Christine Byers is going to start getting her mail here if she's on the show anymore. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, McGraw.
Deb Peterson wanted me to tell you to say hi.
Oh, okay, great.
She was on last segment, and she was taking up all your time, and I told her to be quiet because we want to get you on.
Well, thank you.
All right. So when last we left you, this controversy was continuing, and then this Tim Fitch letter was released. What happened?
Basically, there was a council meeting, and at that point in time, a council member asked for an independent investigation to take place. So that's sort of where we left off. And then yesterday morning, Chief Fitch sent a letter to Charlie Dooley's office. It was a very strongly worded letter after Dooley's Chief Operating Officer, Gary Earls, summoned Fitch's top commander, one of his top commanders, over and asked him about the nature of the FBI information that Chief Fitch was sharing with the feds. Gary Earls told my colleague Steve Giegerich, who interviewed him, though, that that was untrue, and he simply wanted to know where Chief Fitch was because he missed the meeting.
Gotcha. So Gary Earls is claiming he did nothing of the kind in terms of asking about the FBI investigation.
Correct.
Interesting. The letter, as you said, was strongly worded. Fitch calls it unfair and unprofessional. That's some pretty harsh words.
And unethical.
Right, yeah. How did Dooley's people take this? Or Dooley take it, I guess.
I mean, Gary Earls, like I said, did speak with our with reporter Steve Giegerich, and basically brushed it off as, you know, that the chief had incorrect information and that this was an innocent enough conversation to ask simply where the chief was and why he had missed the meeting. Colonel Gregory is, like I said, one of the top 5 commanders over at the County Police Department, and any one of them are usually sent in the chief's place when he cannot make it to a meeting. And so, but the interesting chain of events, though, was that it wasn't as if he asked him right after the meeting. Apparently, Colonel Gregory was summoned to Gary Earls' office after the meeting and was questioned about the chief's whereabouts. And then, as Colonel Gregory says, about, you know, what did the chief tell the FBI?
So this Kenneth Gregory claims that he was asked about the FBI investigation.
Correct.
And Gary Earl says, I did nothing of the kind. I just wanted to know where the police chief was.
Correct.
Gotcha. And then that spurred the letter. It sounds like the Dooley and Tim Fitch relationship is deteriorating by the hour.
One would be able to assume that, yes, based on this sort of correspondence, is something you certainly don't see very much between, a county executive and a chief of police.
Right, yeah. And he also CC'd the FBI on this letter as well.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So Dooley hasn't responded at all to this letter, which was leaked to all the media.
Not that we know of.
Yeah, and who really hasn't said anything other than what I guess he told you guys the other day, which was, I have a great working relationship with Tim Fitch. I just wish he would have told us he was going to the FBI, right? Those are his only comments on this.
Pretty much, yeah.
Where does this go from here? Is Koster going to start looking into any of this? Is McCullough going to look into any of this? Because it sounds like an adult has to step into the room somewhere.
Those are very good questions, and certainly some that we've been looking at. I talked about McCullough about this issue earlier this year, and then actually more recently, in recent days, and asked him, where do you step in here? Are you involved? And his opinion is that this appears to be a county charter issue, and so that falls under Pat Reddington's purview. But I mean, if whatever this new information that is coming to light that the chief has referred to, if it involves state law violations or that sort of thing, I would imagine that at that point in time they might step in, but
Right.
as of right now, it's in the federal world.
Right, yeah. And Patricia Redding looked at this and said there was no charter violation and no conflict of interest. And so I guess everybody thought it was there until now the feds are involved to take a look and to see what's going on. You wonder if the state would step in and say, hey, wait a minute, maybe there's something nefarious going on in the county.
Well, another aspect of that is interesting, given Charlie Dooley's comments during the county executive meeting, in which he stated that the county, in light of all this, is going to be he's going to be proposing basically that subcontractors be held to the same standards as contractors in the charter. Even though the attorney had said this is not a violation, it's just an interesting sort of proposal.
Right. And it's also interesting because the county counselor, Patricia Redding, said there wasn't a conflict of interest, but one of the partners of the company that got the contract told your newspaper we shouldn't have gotten this contract.
Right. Bill Mitchell, who is actually the M in SM Mechanical, he formed the company with Gregory Sansone, of course, the S in SM, told Steve Giegerich that, listen, we probably shouldn't have even gotten this job. We were, a very young company, not a lot of experience yet behind us, and this is a big deal. I mean, it's, a nearly $4 million contract.
Right. All right. So this story, Kenneth Gregory, who was the lieutenant colonel with the police, claims that Gary Earls asked about the FBI investigation. Gary Earls says that didn't happen at all.
Correct.
That's the he said, she said. All right. Christine Byers, I'm sure more stuff will come out throughout the days and weeks, and we love to have you on. So thanks for giving us a couple minutes.
Thanks for having me, McGraw.
You got it. Christine Byers, STLtoday.com. Also, Stephen Giegerich, she said her partner in crime in this as they report this story. If you missed any of this or any of the other interviews, you can always follow us on Twitter at McGraw-Millhaven. They're usually up at STLtoday.com. Also, KTRS.com.